What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 180 show. Today we got a show for you. We have decided to get a little diverse and we want your opinion. So I partnered up with some friends, brought them in, and now today we're going to talk about it. What would you do if your child got out of line? Talk to you crazy. You going to put them in the corner, tell them it's timeout time, or you going to get the belt and beat them across the behind? Listen, y'all tune in. I got a few people give me their aspect of it. So sit back, get a snack, and let's have a good show. Hey,
But my thing is she
That's it.
never failed it because she wanted to keep with it.
Okay.
You have to want it. So all your friends, that's what they do. That's where y'all gonna go hang out at. Y'all gonna be. She ain't fixed to not do nothing because she wants to go to those activities. So I kept her in every activity, kept her from being in the streets, kept her from being around little boys. You sit at my house running my lights, eating up my electricity, eating up all my food.
Okay, can I pause you on
gotta
that?
stop
Can I see? Here we go. You already know where I'm about to go. So can I pause you on that? So that's another. I don't know if it's a Mr. 180 thing, and it's a me and my authority situation. So because she says I'm taking the phones that I bought. You said eating my food, eating my electricity. I'm 12. Who else's food am I gonna eat? Who else's electricity am I?
I'm saying you doing it excessively because you ain't got nothing else to do.
Okay.
And that's what happens with some children who have mental health issues or ADHD behavioral issues. If you don't have them something to do, they're going to do whatever they want. They're going to run over you. They're going to want to eat all day because they ain't got nothing else to do. They're going to sit in there and go through 5 boxes of cereal because they ain't got nothing else to do.
And 9 times out of 10, a child is diagnosed with ADHD. They also have a broad spectrum of
And
where
they're
they
very
have
smart.
impulse disorder. So
Impulse,
they act
yeah.
off of, they
Impulse.
do something and then they come back and they think about it. Because that's, like he said, to reiterate, their mind is going 100 miles per hour. So they think by putting them on the medication, it slows them down to think where we are. And then also, if you do the work and the research on ADHD comes with the umbrella of things. You either have impulse disorder, not all ADHD people, but individuals 9 times out of 10 that have ADHD, they're gonna have impulse disorder. And if you take it, you get the testing, the full complete testing, they have autism. So they're too smart for their own good.
Wow.
Because they're very
That's
smart people
crazy.
that have ADHD and mental health things. You're like, dang, they so smart.
Right.
But you're not giving them anything to stimulate their mind.
That's
My-
where their behavior issues come
my-
in because they need to be stimulated. They
That's
finish their
crazy.
work in classrooms before everybody else because
Wow.
they're smart.
This is boring to them because they like, okay, so give me something
And that's the
else.
crazy thing for you guys to say that, because I'm learning as I'm listening. Because that's I a lot of people, and shout out to Sonora, everybody. She'll tell me I live off impulse. A lot of times I do a lot of things. If you watch me on Facebook, between Anissa and Sonora, they watch my Facebook like a hawk because they know I'll wake up in the morning and I'll be on a tangent. You know what? Today, this person did this and I'm going after them. And I'll get the typing and I'll post. Before you know it, their phones get to ringing. If you don't get that on Facebook right now, we're building a brand. Whatever the situation is. And I never thought of that. And then I'll think about it, man, I shouldn't have did that like that. I fought a lot in high school. I don't know, any of you kids fighters?
Let me be real. I was,
Yeah, fighters.
I was.
I didn't allow her to fight until she got to high school because she was picked on as well.
Yeah.
Even though if nobody knew what she had going on, she was still picked on because she was quiet. And I'm like, you play sports, so of course they're going to hate on you. You're real pretty. They're going to hate on you because they want to take your spot. Don't touch nobody. Go to the principal. Tell the teacher. Tell the counselor. If those 3 things fail, you call me and I'll let you know if you can eat. And that's when you going to go. So it came to that point when she got to like 10th or 11th grade, she had her first fight. And ever since then, she just been on go. I said, see, this is why I didn't want to let you do nothing. Because you don't know how to act. But when they get picked on at such an early age and you're growing up and then it finally explodes because they're already dealing with so much and they don't know why. Because to this day, we don't know why she has a behavioral issue. My parents died when she was young. It could be I was a single parent. She didn't have no siblings. We don't know.
It also,
We do not
what
know.
you just said, it goes back to there's triggers. Because let me tell you, my daughter went through high school, she went through everything. I really did not have to discipline my child. She turned 18 and I think she graduated. Right before she was about to graduate, she did a 360-degree turn. I did not recognize the child. I did not recognize what I was dealing with. And me being so strong and understanding that I had raised her, and I now think about, because I didn't discipline her that she's starting to act like this? She wild, like she was wilding out to the point where I had to give her wings and let her go, because I wasn't prepared for it, because I didn't see this in this child for 18 years, and then you get 18 and you want to wild out, and that just didn't work in my household. Like, I was like, oh my God, you gotta go. You gotta go, because some of the stuff you're doing, it's gonna put me in my grave early. And I've done my part. I did my 18 bid, you know.
So my question for you, and because I have a question for you, and make sure I ask, because I got a question. So my question for you, because I see a lot of parents. I remember, and again, I got to send a shout out to my mom, because I put my parents through it. Shout out, I have the best parents. I remember I told my mom one day, I didn't ask to be here. I would never forget that day. And I think my mom looked so crushed.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, I didn't ask to be here. And I've come to the conclusion that you don't have me till 18 and tell me to go.
Right.
Like,
Parenting never ends.
It never, you know what I'm saying? So
I was gonna be a parent.
to hear it, it's like, man, I know that was the hardest moment.
It hurt me more than it hurt her, but I'm looking at the fact that I got 2 other kids to raise. They're watching her behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
It's impacting my household. It's impacting my peace.
Wow.
How long do I deal with this? And when I got clarity from God that it's just not gonna mix, because she's feeling like she's grown now, she done did her thing, graduated. No, you never want to just put the child out there. But when the behavior issues come so late in the game,
Yeah.
and you the adult, and you done raised her, and things like that. But what I'll piggyback off of Tamika is that you didn't necessarily know where the behavior things came from, but it's that major trigger. When I finally broke it down and asked her, what is your problem? It was daddy abandonment issues that was attached to her.
Wow.
It was, she even hurt me to my heart when she said, everything that you've done, and people will tell you to this day, I live for my kids. My kids have the best of everything. They get what they need, they get what they want. My kids, that's just how I've raised my kids, because that was how my grandma raised me. I had the best of the best. You dress nice, you go to the hairdresser, you gonna get your hair cut. My boys, I've raised them to be strong men. You gonna be at that barbershop, whether I gotta take you or the boyfriend gotta take them, or their dad, whoever's gonna help me take them. I'm teaching you how to be young men. But with that daughter, what hurt me is she came back and she told me everything you did for me didn't really mean nothing to me.
Wow.
She wilded out with her behavior issues. So, and I couldn't put my hands on her then.
Wow.
But trust, we knucked and we bucked. And when we started getting there, I was like, oh no, you gotta go.
You gotta go.
You gotta go.
So, and that's where my question for you came, because me and Mike, we're cool, and Mike tells me he from 2-1, give me a 2.
2-1 everywhere, 2-3
He'll throw it up on me in a minute. So because I only went to church in 2-3, and I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna put it transparent. My mother told me, if you bad, we're gonna send you to Reagan. Look, we got you. Like that was our household thing.
Well,
Man, that was our household thing. I was in the beginning of Conley. Conley was new.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I think, 6 years old when I was going there. And so if you were bad, you was going to Reagan. So that was the big thing, was you gonna go to Reagan. So my mentality of 2-3, 2-1 was, you guys got to do whatever the hell y'all wanted to do. Y'all got to, because I was sheltered. I was raised in the original Pflugerville before they moved everybody from 02 and all that to Pflugerville, before Pflugerville took Section 8, and nothing against it. I just wanted to, before Pflugerville accepted those things. No, Pflugerville, the original Pflugerville, listen, the sheriffs knew all the black people out there because it wasn't that many of
They
us.
stayed in my neighborhood.
Listen, and then when they built Brookfield, let's be real, let's be transparent, my mama wouldn't buy a house in Brookfield because she refuses to go work for the government every day. And the person next door to her gets to live next door to her, not for the same reason she lives next door to her.
Right.
And because she got this, she, you know, and and you know, everybody calls me bougie and, oh, you're rude, you're this. No, my parents taught me how to work hard.
Exactly.
So my question for you is, because I'm listening to her and her daughter, and they go to the barbershops and this and that, and she reminds me of how my mom raised me. I was real sheltered. And so when we met people like you, like y'all met us, y'all didn't like us. We didn't care for y'all. You know, we were looking like, why y'all walking? Y'all looking at us like y'all think y'all better because y'all driving. And it was, so what do you feel as raising a kid that is sheltered compared to, not saying you from the streets. I don't want nobody to think I'm saying my brother from the street, because my brother ain't from the street. But being more out there in areas that were popping and popular, and what do you feel about that?
I feel like sometimes you never want to say a child is spoiled. You never want to say it.
I'm not spoiled.
You never want to say it. But me too. I heard that. Me too. I had a kind of a middle class sheltered. I went to Lanier. Shout out Viking. Round, shout out. Anyway, where I graduated from. Anyway, so I had the best of both worlds. I had that Booker T mentality. Came from Booker T, but then moved to
Booker T
Northside.
across from the Millennium, right?
Indeed, I was there.
Okay. And the only
That
reason,
was bad.
look, you gotta give me that side up. The only reason that was the first time I ever got jumped was going to Booker T.
Ooh.
And I had no
Upward
reason.
bound. Them
I pulled up to impress this girl, and I ended up getting jumped on, and they ran me down that little hill.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't never ran so fast in my whole, and I hit the bottom of the hill, and my ankle twisted because I didn't know the little dip that y'all need to fix y'all wrong. That dip, and my ankle busted, and they got me. And then the girl got them about me, whatever the situation was. But okay, so because in our, you know, out there in the suburbs, not saying nobody else is not from the suburbs, but she's saying she raised her kids being very sheltered. You know, I believe you raised your kids very sheltered, or how are you sheltering them? Or are they able to explore? We'll use that word. Is that the right word?
I would have to base it on my youngest because I had the most interaction with him.
Okay.
And so I would say that he was pretty much allowed, like you say, to explore. My oldest, my daughter, and I could go on about her. She's got her lifestyle's a little different. And so let's just leave it at that. And so I think the choices that she was allowed in life, the things that she was allowed to do, just kind of allowed her to make a decision about who she wanted to be. And that's neither good or bad,
Right.
but, you know, I don't think I was able to help direct that decision, if that makes any sense.
Do you feel that when you say direct that decision, do you feel that, because I hear a lot, excuse me, I hear a lot of parents say, correct me if I'm wrong, let them be free and make their own decisions.
Ooh, Lord, that's
Well,
hard.
you have to take that with a grain of salt, so to speak, because let me just say it like this, and nothing against being gay or anything like that, okay? I'm not saying I'm against that, so, you know.
Yeah, no, you.
But I do believe that a child can be sitting on the fence line of whether or not they're straight, gay, bisexual, or whatever. And I think sometimes if they're given the right choices and information, that will help them make the decision that they need to make. And I think if you just step away and be like, you know what, I'm not going to be in that, you might allow them to make a decision that they really didn't want to make. Does that make sense?
I needed that.
Oh wow.
I needed that. Because
This is
when I
getting
said
spicy. This is getting
18,
good. Okay.
she wilded out
Yeah.
and, you know, took a totally different direction. Again, piggyback off of Blake. Can't judge my child, but my child threw one at me. She's accepted in the Texas Southern, smooth sailing. I'm like, can't discipline her at 18, but she became fluid. She went from fluid to not having a sexual preference to I'm all the way bisexual, living with a person way older than her, and I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? Should I have disciplined her? Keeping her in the house so much, did it work against me?
I want all of you guys here, listeners, everybody here to understand, y'all did good as parents. Y'all, you've lost kids. I don't know if anybody else here has lost kids, but I know you've lost kids. You've lost kids or whatever the situation is you have to understand you made it past 18. And legally, by law, 18 is, hey, I made past 18, they're not dead. They, if they are in jail, okay. Like my mama used to tell me, my mom told me one thing that really made me start thinking about life. She said, one thing I love about you being in jail, I know I'll never get the call to say my baby is dead.
Right.
I know where you're at, and I can click on the computer, and my baby's face is gonna be right there, and you're gonna get 3 hots and a cot. So I'm sitting here to tell y'all that, hey, look, no matter if you believe in just taking the tablet, believe in beating the hell up out of them till they get it together, whatever, hey, let them lead their way. It's no right or wrong answer. And I want the world to know it's no right or wrong answer. It's what is wrong is how government and different people can tell us what our belief is. It's a lot of things that the government do. Oh, well, this is the belief, so we all have to live by that. That's wrong.
Right.
Because we're all different people. My question for you would be, say for example, you're talking to us fellas, what would you tell us to believe what you believe?
Uh-oh. I mean, I just, as a woman and a strong woman, I want the man to understand that, like, let me do the discipline. Because, I don't want my children more so to see, like, a man physically having to put his hands on them or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
So let me, sharing the verbal part of the discipline, but if it ever has to get to where we got to get physical and stuff, I would like to do that part of it. And I need understanding in that. And this has been, I have the 18-year-old, so this has been my motto for 18 years. Like, the 2 individuals that I was married to, you got to understand, I'm the disciplinary when it comes to the daughter. I'm the disciplinary when it comes to physical, if we got to go there. Mm-hmm. And if not, we going to talk this out, to find an understanding in the middle ground. Because it can be a domino effect into your family dynamic. Because, you got to understand, just like in the classroom, you got 21 people, little babies or individuals or kids in that classroom. That's 21 different houses, mama, daddy dynamics, whatever. Wow. So when it comes to dating and relationships, it's the same thing. You may have been raised with physical, and it don't make it right or wrong. I may have been the one that had to, sit there and whatever. I mean, I've gotten technical with my kids. Give me 150 sentences and write and repeat. Repeating it. Like, get this sink this into your mind. I will respect my mama. I'm gonna get it done either way it go, because we not failing in nothing in my house. Mm. So the world ain't gonna swallow you up and crumble you up. So if it's 150 sentences, if it's me having to get physical, I'm, like he said, whatever you do and the crime, whatever fits the crime, I'm gonna do it. Them kids got tired of writing, and they had to sit at their desk and write, I will do this, I will do that. So it's to each his own, but as far as telling the males, just have a respect and an understanding to we as women, we're emotional creatures. We were born emotional creatures, and y'all are hardcore.
Yeah.
And it has to find a balance, a medium.
Okay, Tamika. So, because I see you shaking your head, yes. I see you shaking your head, yes. So, my example, because we got to wrap this up, because the people, they got to go to
this
work.
Was deep.
This got real deep.
Yeah.
Thank y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a 2-week, probably a 2-week episode, So, Tamika, you talking to your sister here, she believes in punishment and taking her kids' stuff. How you going to tell her, no, hell no, we need to beat the hell out these kids so they can get it together? What you going to tell her?
Well, I had already agreed with some of what she said because I had to do both parts. I did go to the corner, I'm gonna take your stuff, you're gonna be on punishment, and I got a whooping. So, it like he said, the crime has to fit the punishment. The punishment has to fit the crime. Depending on what you do, that's what you're gonna get. You shouldn't have been stealing, you're gonna get your butt whooped. You fell into school, I'm gonna take your stuff. You ain't doing your chores, I'm gonna take your stuff and you're grounded. It has to fit a happy medium. But now if you acted up at school, you fighting, I'm gonna have to fight you too. And you talking, smacking you in my face, I'm gonna have to fight you too. So it definitely depends on the situation. So I'm all for what she was saying, nothing against what she was saying, and I'm for it, but there's steps to it. It depends on what you're doing and how you're gonna get treated. If you respect me, I respect you.
I'll leave you with this though.
Okay.
How can we as a nation say that it's okay to execute somebody for a crime they commit, but say it's not okay to spank a child? Think about that.
Wow.
Deep.
Wow.
Part 2. 2 weeks. 2 weeks for this.
Wow.
Yes, part 2. I'm on that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a wow right there.
Wow.
I never looked at it like that. Wow.
Wow. And because I was going to ask you, that one just threw me. So I'm going to ask you this question. Y'all get in the comment sections, let us know. So my question for you, because, and again, I'm not racist by far. Everybody knows my childhood best friend. His name was Seth. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. That was my best friend. You get where I'm coming from? As white as he can be. I believe the whitest name you could ever come up with is Seth, close to Archie. You know what I'm saying? But that was my buddy. So the thing that I don't like as a nation, let's go as a nation, they have this narrative. And I need you to explain it, that black people were just angry. And we're not. And the women, single moms are just angry and they're beating their kids. And they're not.
We get tagged with that.
Yeah, we do.
Quite a bit.
I just got off the phone with my boy Archie, who said he got the master plan, dog. If you're thinking of using the Women Crush Wednesday or Man Crush Monday feature on 180 Life, you better get on it right now before the train leaves the station because it's the best feature you ever seen. You get so much exposure with 180 Life. You better tap in with my guy Archie and 180 Life right now.
180 Life presents the Elite Talent Show. Performances by Bree Wade, Jump Wells, Plain Jane, and you know DJ Blake for real is gonna be on the ones and twos. We got vendors gonna be in the building. Hope to see you there. Get your tickets now.
They have this narrative. And I need you to explain it, that black people were just angry. And we're not. And the women, single moms are just angry and they're beating their kids. And they're not.
We get tagged with that.
Yeah, we do.
Quite a bit. I've been tagged by that by people that I love. So, I mean, I know exactly where you come from with that. I mean, don't make it right. But, I mean, and not to take anything away from what you asked him, but I remember my pastor saying in front of the congregation, he pointed at me and he pointed at another gentleman in our church, older gentleman who's like a father figure to me. He said, if you look at Blake and you look at this other person, the first thing you'll see the scowl on their face that looks like they are mean as hell, but if you get to know them, you'll find out that they're not who you think they are.
Wow.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Right. So to piggyback off that, I have a lot of people, you know, before they want to work with me, what is the first thing they do in this? They go look at my social media.
Follow it, yeah.
And they go look at all my pictures.
That's right.
They go look at all my pictures.
Jobs do that now.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I'm blessed at all my team, all the women on my team there. Majority of them are married. All the women on my team are married. So I've never had a problem, you know, because they were married when they got hired. Their husbands are cool with me. But I've had some people that came on the team that they were married and their husbands didn't like me and never even knew me. And then when they got to know me, oh, well, I looked at your pictures on social media and you looked mean. So I really just didn't like you because I thought you was just a mean guy that thought he was better than everybody. And then when people get to really know me, I'm really goofy and I just love people.
Yeah.
I'm a giver. I don't like. I just love to see people smile and make it. And again, I want the narrative to be, because you was a single mom, correct? Where there is a single mom, where she's working hard to make sure that your baby has the things. Because if she's in sports, that's expensive. So Nora's son, he does all the sports and band, and me and her talk all the time, and I'm like, I don't know how you do it. We go from band to baseball to this to that, and he's in college, and he's in high school, and he's this. And I be trying to keep up with the little dude's schedule. Like, bruh, like, hey, can I borrow your mom? I need her to work. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh, yeah. And, you know, and it's like, people don't know that cost. But they think she's angry. And I didn't get it till I was grown. When my parents would say, I've done all this for you, and you can't even come to school and act like you got some sense.
Right.
I didn't learn that till I had my nephew. And, you know, he had a learning disability, and it would make him angry. Because what we know, 2 + 2, in his head, he could never, we could go over it all day. 2 + 2 is what? 4. 2 + 2 is what? 4. 2 + 2 is what? 4. 2 + 3 is what? 5. He would go to school and they would say, what's 3 + 2? And because they didn't say it the way I said it,
Right.
he's thrown off. And because they did it in front of the class,
He's
embarrassing.
frustrated.
that one kid snickered,
Yeah. It's
and
a
the one
domino
kid
effect.
told him he was stupid. So he punched that one kid. Then they put him in the BMC, Behavior Management Control. And now you can't tell me what to do. And now you a grown man, and this boy is about as tall as you, thinking you gonna tell me what to do and beat me up. So now they discipline him not out of love, just to let you know, bro, I'm bigger than you.
Yeah.
And I gave him the best. Jordans are $215 because he wore the same size as me. These are $215 shoes. So when I buy a shoe, I buy your shoe. That's $430. That's some people's car note. And it got me one day because I use that like I give you everything. You got the latest phone, these $1,000 phones. You got these shoes on your feet, and you telling me you can't come to school and act like you got some sense? I got to take off work. That was when I was working at the funeral home. I got to take off work. So now I got to work overnight because I got to be at the school with you all day. And they don't understand the sacrifice. So then people think that we're bitter old black men.
Say that again.
You know what I'm saying? They think they're bitter black women. And I love doing the table talk like this to show people that everybody's not Bonquisha whipping they weave and chewing bubble gum and all this weird stuff. We're normal people that go through normal stuff.
But if you have a little passion in your voice, you deemed as the angry black woman. Like, I'm like, that can't be our narrative all the time. Break that. That comes from breaking cycles. We gotta break the cycles. We bosses, we're parents, we're educated, we're this. We gotta get to a place where we're not the target. Take the target off of us. And that's what, you know, this brand building of 180 is. You know, we showing the world different. Having these uncomfortable conversations need to happen to show that we as African American, we can get together, have a disagreement. I may not agree with you, you may not agree with me, but we can bring it together and we can educate and show. Because this forum, somebody's going to be educated on this.
Yeah.
There's some single mother that can look at Tamika and say she can make it. You know, there's some single mother that can say, okay, she tried love again. She's trying to do successful things with her kids and successful, you know, stuff with her. You know, he met his challenge, whatever. He did whatever. He, you know, he's a successful person. We got to change the narrative for us. And until we can have these uncomfortable forms and bring it to light who we are, to change the dynamic so the world can see us on social media outlets and podcasts and 180 shows and stuff, we gotta do it for ourselves and for our children.
Wow. What's the narrative for the men version?
Well, I'll say it like
We got, so look, I got 3 minutes.
3 minutes. I'm gonna
Don't Bishop Jakes me.
No, I ain't gonna do that.
Don't give me the
gonna do
three
that.
preaching minutes.
I ain't
We
gonna do
gonna give us 3 minutes in a three. Give us the narrative of how we gonna change it as black men. Cause she gave it to us for black women. Give it to us for black men. That we not all angry.
Okay.
We've been through some things.
The narrative basically is for all of us. It ain't just for the men and the women. It's you got to trust your method. You got to trust your method. Whatever you choose to do the method that you choose. We might not see eye to eye, but you got to trust your method. You got to know that you did everything that it was capable of doing as a mother or a father, or a mother or a father, and know that you did your best.
Wow.
That child is going to come out the way they're going to come out, and you have no control all the time about how it's going to happen. You just got to trust your method. And you got to know that you did everything that you were able to do. And he might not come at 18 and say, Mom, you know what, you were right. It might be the 30-year-old.
Yep.
You might be 60 and your child be 40 and be like, you know what, I went through life. And life was hard and you were right. But you got to trust your method. If you spanked, you spanked. If you took, you took. But you got to trust your method at the end of the day.
Wow.
And that's it. That's the narrative.
That's it. Trust your method. I like that. Trust your method.
Right.
Trust your method. I like that. Listen, guys, thank y'all so much for coming and talking to me. Anissa, Tamika, Mike, Blake, it's been an honor. Listen, I need y'all to tune in with us every Sunday at 7 p.m. This was a blessing. I'm taking a deep breath because I want you guys to know it takes a lot to talk about controversial issues. There was a lot more issues that we want to face in the future. So if you would like to be on the 180 show, we call it Table Talk with no table, no filter, no, what is it, no lemonade, no lemons, no sugar, no tea, just real live table talk, real live adult conversation where we can agree to disagree. You know, or you can agree with everybody. I'm taking the tablets, I'm beating the hell out of them, I'm putting them on punishment, and I'm putting you the hell out. Listen, no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Listen, like Medea said, if you don't like it, go to LendingTree.com, get yourself a mortgage, and get the hell out. You feel me? So listen, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with us. It's 180 Life Forever, 180 Life. And listen, I'm at the point to say 180 Life or die. So look. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's been an honor. We'll see you next time. And we out, baby.